Hello YouTube, it's Ram from Ramen Noodles TCG, and today I have a very ridiculous virtual world deck profile for you. So, the story of this deck goes back about 8 or so months ago. I was testing Virtual World, as I usually do, and I came across a card from Maze of Memories. This card. Angel of Blue Tears. It's a crappy Trickstar support card, but it has a graveyard effect that triggers when a player takes effect damage. When a player takes effect damage, you can banish it from the graveyard to set a trap from your deck. A normal trap, excuse me. So there's a lot of traps you can set with this card. Now, you could obviously set a good trap card, like a Virus or Dimensional Barrier, but I wanted to set the Revived Sky God from my deck. So, the Revived Sky God summons Slifer the Sky Dragon from your graveyard, and then each player draws cards until they have 6. Now, this sounds like a very ridiculous effect, because it is. So, Virtual World can fulfill the entire setup for this combo. So, I decided to build a whole deck around it. Now, obviously, to start with, you have the Angel of Blue Tears, you have the Sky God, and then you have the dragon himself, Slifer the Sky Dragon. Now, Slifer actually has a really interesting floodgate effect. It's a really old card, so if you started playing recently, you might not have read it. Basically, when Slifer is on the field, and your opponent summons a monster in attack position, that monster loses 2,000 attack, and if it hits 0 by this effect, it blows up. So, this is surprisingly useful in some matchups. I actually topped a locals about half a year ago with this. I was able to beat Sprite and Mathmech, both of which link summon and have very dinky monsters. So yeah, this comes up surprisingly often. But you're usually using it for the draw 6 effect, which is really cool. So in order to facilitate this, I'm playing a lot of hand traps to draw off of the draw 6, and thus, because I'm playing a lot of hand traps, I need to use minimum virtual world ratios. So, we are playing 3 Lulu, 3 Gigi, 3 Lily, 3 Lao Lao, 1 Yan Yan, 3 more Yan Yan, for the monster lineup. So, for the virtual world monsters, these are pretty standard. The 1 Yan Yan might seem a little weird, but if you manage your resources correctly, you only need the 1 Yan Yan. Because we're not playing Pot of Desires, you don't run the risk of banishing your Yan Yan face down, so you can recycle her with Chuche. Speaking of Chuche, we have all the gates. So we have 3 Kowloon to set the gates. The 2 Qinglong minimum ratios, really. You can't play 1. That's too few, but you can get away with 2 just because of the recycling of Chuche. So you have the 2 Chuche, the 1 Zhuanwu. Because we're opting for minimum virtual world ratios, I need really strong consistency boosting spells. So I am playing 3 copies of Pot of Prosperity. Yeah, we can't play Desires because we would banish the Slifer bricks. So we're opting for Prosperity instead. Now onto the hand traps. I have room for 10 hand traps. Kind of sad that I minimized all of the virtual world stuff and still only have room for 10 hand traps, but the virtual world core is 24 cards, so yeah. For hand traps, I'm on 3 Ash, 3 Bell, 3 Droll, and 1 Ghost Ogre. Now, Ash and Belle are really good this format. They're also level 3s, which is really nice. If you haven't caught on yet, Droll is basically a win condition for this deck. Because the Revived Sky God has to draw both players' cards, you can flip up the Revived Sky God in your opponent's standby phase, usually. It has to draw both players' cards, so if they hold on to 6 cards, you can't activate it until they play a card. So as soon as you activate it, or as soon as they play a card, you can flip up the Revived Sky God, and then you draw a bunch of cards, and your opponent usually draws 1 or 2. But after that, you can hit them with Droll. So they have to play their entire turn under Droll. It doesn't matter against a few decks, but a lot of decks really struggle if they get hit by Droll. And we're in a Droll format right now, so that's pretty good. I'm playing the 1 of Ghost Ogre as the 40th card. Ghost Ogre is kind of weird. It's not an amazing hand trap this format. It's pretty good in the Centurion matchup, though, which is something to note, I guess. It hoses Centurion, just like a lot of other hand traps do. But it's also kind of an extender. So because we're playing the minimum virtual world names, we need to boost consistency as much as possible. There's a lot of scenarios where you have something like Kowloon plus Emergency Teleport and no way to get a Qinglong engrave. So you can Kowloon set Qinglong, E-Tele for Ghost Ogre, Qinglong attempt to negate your own Ghost Ogre, and then you can chain Ghost Ogre to pop the Qinglong to get yourself a search for a virtual world. It doesn't come up too often, but it's really useful when it does. So that's the main deck. Onto the extra deck. Now, for the combo, we're playing Beatrice and Nothung. Obviously, Beatrice is the rank 6 that sends cards to the graveyard. You make her send blue tears, and then you summon Nothung. Nothung is a level 6 synchro that deals 800 burn damage. It's really all it does, unless you're playing Blackwing. But we can use this to trigger blue tears. So we ping our opponent for 800, trigger the blue tears to set the Revived Sky God, and then on our opponent's turn, we can send Slifer to the graveyard, and then activate the Sky God. So yeah, that's what we need for the combo, and then we're playing some standard Virtual World extra deck cards, the one Shen, Charge Warrior, Vermilion, M7, Lars. Lars is new. It's new out of Duelist Nexus. This card is really, really nice. I love it a lot. In matchups where Shen doesn't do as much, you can summon Lars to cap off your turn. Lars is just it's spot negation, kind of like Hot Red Dragon Archfiend Abyss. You just attach 2 to target a card your opponent controls and negate it in response to one of your opponent's activations, which is really nice. Lars is insane. I love this boy. We are playing the Crystal Wing. We're playing the Zulkin package. So with the Zulkin, the Crystal Wing, and the Coral Dragon to ladder into some of these guys. I am playing some generic Xyz. I'm playing the 1 Jaja. This could be any rank 3 Zeus enabler. I like Jaja, but Fortune Tune is a nice side grade. Utopia Beyond is another Zeus enabler. It makes everything 0. It reduces all the attack of all your opponent's monsters to 0 on summon. So you can just make this swing into something and make Zeus. Either that or just OTK them. Gaia Dragon is an extra Zeus material. And then we're playing the Zeus and the Typhon. Typhon is really nice in this deck because you have Chuche. So against something like Branded, you can sit on Typhon and like Chuche your opponent's board away, beating them down in the grind game. So yeah, that's the deck. Okay, it's time to do some test hands. We have Qinglong, Chuche, Prosp, GG. This hand is not great. Let's start with Prosperity. Now, for Prosperity, we can banish. We're trying to do the Slifer combo here, so we can banish the Zulkin stuff and some stuff for going second. So we can banish Zeus, Gaia Dragon, and probably the Typhon as well. So we'll go for the 6. We have Droll, Prosp, Kowloon, Droll, E-Telly, and Lao Lao. I think we'll take the Kowloon here. So now we can activate the Kowloon, grabbing Chuche. And I believe this should do the whole combo. So we can go GG target Chuche. Sending Qinglong. Qinglong effect to search. Grabbing a Lulu. And we can discard something. Let's discard Chuche. So we'll go Lulu target Chuche. Sending Kowloon because we're out of Qinglongs already. Little unfortunate, but that's how it goes. So sending Kowloon. Adding a copy of Lao Lao. Now from here we can make Charge Warrior. We're under Prosperity, so we cannot activate Charge Warrior, sadly. But we can keep playing from here. So we're going to go Lao Lao target Chuche. Sending Nian Nian. Summoning Gigi. We're going to go for Nian Nian effect to summon herself as a tuner. We can overlay for Beatrice. We can go Beatrice effect here. Sending Angel of Blue Tears. And now we can Synchro Summon. We go Nothong Chainlink 1. Nian Nian Chainlink 2 to return, let's put Typhon back in the extra. Let's go with Zeus, actually. Let's put Zeus back. So, Nothong burns for 800. Now we can activate Angel of Blue Tears to set the trap from deck. We will set the Revived Sky God. Oh, I forgot to detach from Beatrice. And then we will set 2 cards. And pass turn. So now we have the live Chuche pop. And then we're going to resolve our Sky God. So during our opponent's turn, we can fire Beatrice. Sending Slifer. Then we can flip up. Nope, not that. The Revived Sky Gods, bringing Slifer back. And then drawing 6 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's take a look at our beautiful new hand. Perfect. Follow-up and 2 hand traps. So on res, our opponent will have drawn a card, so we can drop draw. Now, even with a subpar hand, we managed to end on Slifer, draw 6, and our opponent is drawed for their entire turn. So yeah, that's the idea here. Generally, you want to do something with the Nothing afterwards. If you had more follow-up, you can make either Shen or Lars. Getting Zhuanwu Engrave would have been able to make yourself a Shen, or you can find something to overlay with Lars. Overlay to make Lars. But yeah, that's the deck. I really hope you guys enjoyed. I know I usually do more competitively oriented content, so it was nice to make a casual video for once. If you enjoyed the video and want to see more virtual world content, be sure to like and subscribe. Thank you.